Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready to dig in.
Awesome. So today we're tackling something I know a lot of you have been curious about. Java burn coffee.
Yeah, this one's been making the rounds.
It sure has. And it seems like you're interested in finding ways to maybe give your metabolism a little boost, perhaps shed a few pounds, and Java burn definitely caught your attention.
Yeah, the marketing's pretty slick.
Oh, we've got all the marketing materials right here ready to go, so we're going to sift through all the hype, see what they're claiming, and, try to figure out what we can actually learn from all this.
Separate fact from fiction. I'm in.
Perfect. So, first things first, what exactly is Java burn coffee? What are they saying it does?
So basically they're presenting it as this super simple solution for weight loss. You just add this tasteless powder to your coffee.
Okay, easy enough. But how is that supposed to help you lose weight?
Well, they're really targeting that, sluggish metabolism feeling that a lot of people experience. They say it helps kickstart your metabolism and kind of jumpstart your body's natural fat burning processes.
Interesting. And they're playing up the convenience factor too.
Definitely. No crazy diets or extra workouts. Just add it to your coffee and boom, you're on your way to a faster metabolism.
But how exactly is it supposed to work? Like, what's the mechanism they're describing?
So they talk about this synergy with coffee, saying that Java burn somehow enhances the natural metabolism-boosting effects of coffee.
So it's building on something that's already there.
Great.
Clever.
And they break it down into this four-step process. First, it boosts your metabolism. Then it turns your body into this fat-burning powerhouse.
Okay, that sounds pretty intense.
Right. And then it supposedly provides you with this steady energy throughout the day.
Oh, so no more afternoon slump.
That's the claim. And finally, it's supposed to reduce your hunger cravings. So fewer snacks, less overeating, and ultimately weight loss.
Sounds like a dream, right? But they do lean pretty heavily on those testimonials, those before and after stories. I mean, how much stock can we really put in those?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Testimonials can be compelling, for sure, but they're also super subjective. It's just one person's experience, and we don't know the full story behind it.
And there's always the placebo effect to consider, too.
Exactly. Someone might start taking Java burn and feel more energized simply because they expect to feel more energized. It's not necessarily the product itself doing the work.
So we have to be careful not to take those testimonials at face value. We need to look beyond the individual stories and see what the science says.
Right. That's where the real investigation begins.
Okay, so let's get into that then. Let's dive into the ingredients list. They list chlorogenic acid, green tea extract, L-carnitine, chromium, L-theanine, and a vitamin complex. Does anything jump out at you from that lineup?
Well, some of these ingredients, DO, have some research backing up their potential benefits, at least to some extent.
Okay, so there's some substance there, potentially.
Yeah, potentially. But it's often based on isolated studies or limited data on long-term effects.
So not quite the slam dunk they might make it seem.
Right. It's not as simple as they present it.
Well, let's break it down ingredient by ingredient then. We'll start with chlorogenic acid. What's the deal with that one?
So chlorogenic acid is found naturally in coffee beans, and it's often touted for its potential to increase metabolism. And then we've got green tea extract. That one's been a popular weight loss ingredient for a while now.
Yeah, I've definitely heard about green tea extract, but I admit I haven't really dig into the details. What's the real scoop? Like, how much of an impact are we actually talking about here?
Okay, so studies on green tea extract, specifically the catechins it contains, have shown that it can lead to a small increase in metabolism and fat oxidation. But, and this is a big but, the effect is often pretty minimal.
Minimal?
Yeah, we're talking maybe around a 4% increase. And that can be easily negated if you're adding sugar to your coffee, for example.
So not exactly the dramatic transformation some of those testimonials might lead you to believe.
Nope, not quite. It's really important to keep expectations realistic with these things.
That makes sense. Okay, so what about L-carnitine? That's another one they highlight. What's its role supposed to be?
So L-carnitine plays a role in transporting fatty acids to be used for energy production. And Java burn suggests that it can enhance fat burning, especially during exercise.
Oh, that sounds promising for people who are active and trying to shed some pounds.
It does, but the research is a bit mixed on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's some evidence that L-carnitine supplementation might improve exercise performance and fat burning, particularly in older adults. But for most healthy individuals, our bodies already produce enough L-carnitine naturally.
So unless you have a deficiency, adding more might not make much of a difference.
Exactly. It's not a guaranteed fat-burning miracle worker.
Gotcha. Okay, moving on to chromium. That's one I've heard a lot about in relation to blood sugar control. What are they claiming it does in Java burn?
They're emphasizing its potential to regulate insulin, reduce sugar cravings, and basically keep your blood sugar levels stable. They make it sound like it can help with those, energy crashes and cravings that can sabotage your weight loss efforts.
Sounds pretty tempting, but is there actual evidence to support that?
Well, the research on chromium is kind of mixed, to be honest. Some studies suggest that it might improve insulin sensitivity in people with diabetes.
Okay, so that's a specific population.
Right. But when it comes to its impact on weight loss or sugar cravings, the evidence is much more limited and inconsistent.
So another ingredient with potential, but not a guaranteed game changer.
Exactly.
All right, what about L-theanine? That's one I usually associate with relaxation, so I'm curious how it fits into this weight loss formula.
They claim that it helps counteract those caffeine jitters, reduce hunger, and improve focus. They're basically saying it can help you get the benefits of caffeine without the downsides.
That's a pretty attractive proposition.
It is. And there is some evidence that L-theanine can promote relaxation, reduce stress, and even enhance cognitive function and attention.
Okay, so the focus and relaxation aspects seem plausible.
Yeah, those are pretty well established, but the research on its appetite-suppressing effects is much less conclusive.
So it might contribute to a calmer, more focused coffee experience, but the hunger reduction part is still up for debate.
Exactly. It's not a sure thing.
Got it. And then finally, we have the vitamin complex. What's the spiel on that one?
Well, they claim that it supports immunity, boosts energy, and promotes overall well-being. It's a pretty standard claim, honestly, similar to what you'd see on any multivitamin label.
Yeah, that does sound like a general good-for-you add-on rather than a targeted weight loss ingredient.
Right. It's not clear how much it actually contributes to the overall effectiveness of the product.
So we've gone through each ingredient one by one. What's your overall impression of this lineup so far? Are you seeing any red flags or anything that particularly stands out?
Well, I think it's fair to say that while there are some potentially beneficial ingredients in here, the marketing definitely plays up the hype. They make a lot of big promises. But the actual scientific evidence is often pretty weak or inconclusive.
It's that classic grain of truth marketing strategy. Take something that has a little bit of scientific backing and then exaggerate the heck out of it.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that even if individual ingredients show some promise in isolation, that doesn't necessarily mean they'll work the same way when combined in a product like Java Burn. We don't know how they interact with each other or if they're even present in sufficient quantities to have a real impact.
That's a great point. So we've got all these separate pieces of the puzzle, but how they all fit together in this specific formula is still a big question mark.
And that brings us to another crucial point, one that I find particularly concerning.
Oh, what's that?
Well, the marketing materials don't actually provide specific dosage information for any of these ingredients.
Wait, really? They don't say how much of each ingredient is in there?
Nope. It's all very vague.
That seems like a pretty big omission, don't you think? Especially considering that even natural ingredients can have side effects or interact with medications someone might be taking.
Absolutely. Without knowing the dosages, it's really difficult to assess the potential effectiveness or safety of the product.
Yeah, that's a bit alarming. And just to be clear, we're not medical professionals here, so if anyone out there is considering trying Java Burn, or any supplement for that matter, it's always best to talk to your doctor first.
Definitely. Especially if you have any underlying health conditions. It's just not worth the risk.
Great advice. So we've taken a good look at Java Burn's marketing, its claims, and the science behind some of its key ingredients. It seems there might be some potential benefits, but the marketing definitely oversells the evidence. And we still have a lot of unanswered questions about how it all works and whether it's safe for everyone. What do you say we take a deeper dive into all of that after a quick break?
Sounds good to me. We've got a lot more to uncover. All right, so picking up where we left off. We were dissecting Java Burn's ingredients, trying to separate the marketing hype from the scientific reality. And, I think it's safe to say we're seeing a lot more hype than hard evidence so far.
It's a good reminder that we can't just take these companies at their word. Gotta approach these products with a healthy dose of skepticism. It's easy to get swept up in the marketing, but we need to remember that their main goal is to sell us something.
Absolutely. And speaking of marketing, remember those glowing testimonials we were talking about before the break? Those before and after stories that make Java Burn sound like a miracle weight loss solution?
Yeah, the ones that make you think, wow, maybe this stuff really does work.
Exactly. Well, I did a little digging into those testimonials, and there's something interesting I wanted to point out.
Oh, okay, I'm all ears. What did you find?
Well, for starters, a lot of these testimonials, while compelling, they lack verifiable details. Like we have Mark, the fitness trainer, who claims he finally lost that stubborn belly fat thanks to Java Burn, and Samantha, who lost 18 pounds and now has all this energy, and Alex, who says Java Burn helped him overcome those afternoon energy crashes and shed 10 pounds.
Those are some pretty impressive transformations, I have to admit.
They are. But here's the thing. We don't really know anything about these people beyond what the marketing tells us. No last names, no ages, no information about their lifestyles or any other factors that might have contributed to their weight loss.
So it's impossible to know for sure if these are genuine stories, they've been embellished, or honestly, if they've been completely fabricated for marketing purposes.
Exactly. And that's not to say that everyone who's tried Java Burn has had a negative experience or that no one has seen results. But we have to remember that these companies are cherry-picking the most dramatic success stories to showcase in their marketing.
That makes sense. It's like those weight loss reality shows where they only show you the people who lost the most weight, not the ones who struggled or didn't see any changes.
Right. It's a carefully curated narrative designed to make the product seem as appealing as possible.
So those testimonials, while interesting, we can't really consider them reliable evidence. We have to look beyond the individual stories and consider the broader context.
Exactly. And that brings us to another aspect of Java Burn's marketing that raises some red flags for me. They repeatedly mention scientific backing and a 2024 scientific discovery, making it sound like their formula is based on some groundbreaking research. They even claim it's the first and only product of its kind to harness this, quote, revolutionary weight loss breakthrough.
But they never actually provide any specific details about these alleged studies or discoveries, do they?
Nope. No mention of any specific researchers, institutions, publications, or even the names of these groundbreaking studies. It's all incredibly vague.
It's a pretty common tactic in the supplement industry, unfortunately. Use a lot of scientific-sounding language to create a sense of authority, but avoid providing any actual evidence that people can verify.
Exactly. They're basically saying, trust us, we're scientists, but they're not giving us any real reason to trust them.
So how should our listener, who's genuinely interested in finding ways to boost their metabolism and maybe lose a few pounds, navigate all of this? What's the bottom line here?
Well, I think the key takeaway is to approach Java Burn, and any supplement for that matter, with caution and realistic expectations. It's possible that some people might experience minor benefits from it, especially if they combine it with a healthy lifestyle.
But it's unlikely to be the miracle solution they make it out to be.
Definitely not. And considering the lack of transparency about dosages and potential side effects, I think it's crucial to talk to a healthcare professional before adding Java Burn to your routine. They can help you assess your individual needs and risks and make sure it's a safe choice for you.
Solid advice. We don't want anyone putting their health at risk just to try the latest weight loss trend. So we've delved into the marketing claims, examined the ingredients, and even discussed the potential pitfalls of relying on those glowing testimonials. I think it's time to zoom out a bit now and look at the bigger picture. Can you tell us a bit about the weight loss industry as a whole and how Java Burn fits into that landscape?
Sure. So Java Burn is just one product in a very crowded market of weight loss solutions. And sadly, a lot of these solutions prey on people's desire for a quick fix.
That makes sense. Losing weight can be challenging, and it's tempting to believe that there's some magic bullet out there that will make it easy and effortless.
Right. But the reality is that sustainable weight management requires more than just a simple supplement.
It's about making lasting lifestyle changes, isn't it?
Exactly. Instead of searching for that magic bullet, what if we focused on building a lifestyle that supports our overall well-being? Think balanced nutrition, regular physical activity, stress management, getting enough sleep. Those are the things that truly make a difference in the long run.
I love that you're emphasizing the holistic approach. It's not just about what you eat or how much you exercise, but about taking care of your entire self, mind, body, and spirit.
Exactly. It's about creating a sustainable and enjoyable lifestyle that supports both your physical and mental health.
And that's something no supplement can truly replicate.
Right. It's about taking control of your health journey, not relying on quick fixes or miracle products.
We've covered a lot of ground today. From the specifics of Java Burn to the broader context of the weight loss industry, we've really explored the complexities of this topic.
We have. And I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about as they navigate their own health and wellness journeys.
I agree. We've examined the claims, analyzed the ingredients, and even delved into the psychology of marketing.
And I think the key takeaway is this. While a product like Java Burn might hold some potential, it's essential to approach it with a critical eye and realistic expectations. Don't believe everything you read in the marketing materials, and always do your own research before making any decisions about your health.
Words to live by. Well, folks, we're going to wrap up our deep dive into Java Burn coffee right after this short break. And we're back! All right, so we spent this episode really taking a deep dive into Java Burn coffee. We've gone through the marketing, broken down those ingredients, and even zoomed out to look at the weight loss industry as a whole.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground. I think one of the biggest takeaways for me has been how the marketing, for Java Burn at least, relies so heavily on those testimonials, those vague promises of like scientific backing. But when you actually look at the research on the ingredients, it often doesn't support the dramatic results they're claiming.
Exactly. And we talked about how important it is to be skeptical of those like quick fix solutions that promise effortless weight loss. It's tempting to believe there's this magic bullet out there, but realistically, sustainable change usually takes a more holistic approach.
Absolutely. I mean, instead of searching for that like quick fix or that magic pill, what if we shifted our focus to building a lifestyle that actually supports our well-being, not just trying to force our bodies to do something they're not ready for.
I love that. It's about making choices that make us feel good, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally too.
Yeah, exactly. Like instead of dreading your next workout or feeling guilty about enjoying a nice meal, what if you could find like genuine joy in movement and really appreciate the food that's nourishing your body?
That's such a healthier way to approach it, right? It's not about punishing ourselves or depriving ourselves. It's about making choices that support us in the long run.
Right. Like think about it. Instead of forcing yourself to stick to some crazy restrictive diet, what if you experimented with different foods and found what actually makes you feel good, And instead of pushing yourself to do some intense workout that you hate, what if you found activities that you actually enjoy and that fit into your life?
It's about listening to our bodies and finding what works for us as individuals.
Exactly. And I think that's something that often gets lost in the hype of the weight loss industry. Yeah. There's no one-size-fits-all approach. What works for one person might not work for another.
So true. And ultimately, it's a journey of self-discovery, right? Figuring out what truly supports your unique needs and goals. Maybe Java Burn is part of that journey for some people, but it's important to go into it with realistic expectations and a healthy dose of skepticism.
I think that's a great point to end on. Be informed, be critical, and most importantly, be kind to yourself throughout the process. There's no need to rush or to compare yourself to others. Just focus on making choices that support your well-being, and the results will follow.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, folks, that's a wrap for this episode. We hope you found this deep dive into Java Burn coffee insightful and maybe even a little bit inspiring. Remember, knowledge is power.
It's been a pleasure exploring this with you.
Likewise. And to all of you listening, stay curious, keep asking questions, and we'll catch you on our next deep dive.